My name is Camilla Ramborger. I taught PE and coached at the South Carolina School for the Deaf many years ago. While teaching PE and coaching, I noticed the boys basketball team would travel to different schools in different states every January for the Mason-Dixon tournament. At that time, I coached the girls basketball team. I wondered why the girls didn't have a Mason-Dixon tournament to attend like the boys do. I asked my boss, the athletic director, about that. I felt like we needed something for the girls basketball team. I graduated from the Tennessee School for the Deaf in 1965. Looking back, I remember when I was a sophomore, I sat on the sidelines and watched the boys Mason-Dixon tournament at TSD. At that time, I never thought about the girls basketball team having their own Mason-Dixon tournament. I just enjoyed attending the tournament and watching the games. It ended up that Tennessee School for the Deaf won the championship that year with a buzzer beater. After graduating high school, I attended Gallaudet University. Upon graduating Gallaudet, I received a job at the South Carolina School for the Deaf as a PE teacher and the girls basketball coach. The AD was on board with the suggestion and agreed to start up a girls Mason-Dixon tournament, making it equal for the girls. I thought it hadn't been fair, so the girls Mason-Dixon tournament was established. Now, this didn't happen overnight. We worked hard setting up the program, creating the code of conduct, bylaws, and all the intricate details, taking a total of 2 years before it was up and running. In 1978, South Carolina was the first school of the deaf to host the girls Mason-Dixon tournament. There were a total of 7 teams that participated the first year. The next year, in 1979, 2 additional teams were added, and the following year, in 1980, we added 1 more team. It seemed the girls Mason-Dixon tournament was up and running with a lot of support from the deaf schools, principals, superintendents, and coaches who were in favor of the girls Mason-Dixon tournament. We were able to keep it alive all these years. I hope it continues for many more years to come. I am grateful for their support. It's true, enrollment at deaf schools have varied over time, but despite this, the Mason-Dixon tournaments have endured. A lot of the girls and coaches really have a heart for the tournament as a whole. Now, in terms of combining the boys and girls tournament, I think that's fine. Let it happen. Keep the teams growing. I think it's a good idea.
Hello. My name is Kate Hill. And I was the girls basketball coach at ASD, that's the Alabama School for the Deaf, for 20 years. My first Mason-Dixon tournament was in 1980 at the Georgia School for the Deaf. It was a real shock. my first time, I didn't know anything about the tournament, but it was so exciting. So for 19 years, it was my pleasure every year to attend and coach at the Mason-Dixon tournament. We missed 1 year because of snow and we were stuck in Talladega, Alabama. But after that, every year we arrived safely some way. And it was a lot of fun. My girls, me, all of our staff, ready to go to Mason-Dixon to play the games, to see old friends, just to enjoy ourselves. It's an awesome experience, and my girls loved it. They just loved it. It was so important in our lives to go to Mason-Dixon. Yes, I think I feel strongly it's very important for the Mason-Dixon tournament to continue. I'm happy that both boys and girls are going to have this experience together. They learn a lot. They meet people. They make memories forever and friends forever. I just feel that I was very lucky. At ASD, there was always a lot of support, staff, the principal, athletic director. Everyone was involved in everything about the program, and it was good to see the same at the other schools for the deaf, and it's just an awesome experience.
Hi, my name is Richard Davis. I'm from Tennessee. I started with the Mason-Dixon 39 years ago, and I've been doing it for 37 years straight. There were 2 years without tournaments due to COVID, but the Mason-Dixon is a very important part of my life. Every year I look forward to being a part of it. The last 11 years, I've had the honor of being a scribe. And I'd like to share that story. You just saw Camilla recently speaking of how she started the girls' tournament. And she was a scribe for many years. One time, while she was visiting my home, she was ready to retire from being a scribe. And she looked at me and said, "You're next." And I threw my hands up saying, "Not me, but I learned you don't say no to Camilla." So I said yes. But the Mason-Dixon is a wonderful thing. Some years ago at the Tennessee School for the Deaf, we were hosting the tournament, and there was a principal looking around and noticed that enrollment in deaf schools has decreased quite a bit over the years. The language fluency of the students was not the same as it had been in the past. He asked me how long I thought the Mason-Dixon would continue. Taken back by his question, I asked him to repeat it. He told me to look at all the players, that the skills weren't where they used to be, and asked again how long I thought the Mason-Dixon would last. Realizing his perspective, I asked him if he thought Mason-Dixon was about the players on the court, that the only significance was in the games. I told him to look at the stands and the kids who were signing and laughing and playing and happy. I told him that is what Mason-Dixon is about. Sharing stories with friends and making new friends. I have coached. You saw the 2 best friends recently on video. And I have friends that I will keep forever. The Mason-Dixon is wonderful. It's the best part of my life, and I'm very honored to be a part of it. I hope it continues for many years to come. I'm Heather Foster. I'm a former player of the North Carolina School for the Deaf's Mason-Dixon. I played for 2 years and was part of the championship team of '86. After that, I coached and got to travel and always felt such a connection with the Mason-Dixon. I love the socialization aspect and seeing new faces. Even today, I still get to see old faces from many different teams. It's really nice.
My name is Andrea Toddy. I graduated NCSD in '86. I played in the Mason-Dixon tournament for 4 years. In my senior year in '86, we won the championship. After that, I coached volleyball and basketball. Really, I've been involved with the Mason-Dixon for a long time, just socializing with different people.
Their story is a true testament of the tournament. I'm Sandy Turner, and I'm one of the first coaches for the Mason-Dixon. I started coaching way back at the South Carolina School for the Deaf. And the coaches that I was coaching with are still good friends of mine. And we still get together at the tournaments when we see each other. So the Mason-Dixon is much more than just basketball. It's about relationships, learning about the different schools, learning about the different cultures within each deaf school on the East Coast. And for me, it was an honor to be a part of the creation of the girls' tournament. We owe a lot to Camilla for getting that started. If she hadn't insisted on wanting the girls to have the same experience as the boys, then it would have never happened. But look at what North Carolina School for the Deaf has done. Bringing together for the first time ever, the boys and girls together. You can't measure that amount of support with words.
I agree. And not only that, seeing so many old and new faces and friends, it's a reunion for many of us too, as we get together with old teammates to come back and work together to help out at the tournament, doing statistics or the scorebooks or volunteering. It's nice being able to do that all the years. I like that.
And there's the story. Wow. I'm Melissa Shoemate, one of the co-chairs for this year's Mason-Dixon.
I'm Eric Toddy. I am the other co-chair for the Mason-Dixon 70th Annual Boys Tournament and the 45th Annual Girls Tournament and Cheer Competition.
Combined. This year's tournament, the 70th Annual Boys Tournament and 45th Annual Girls Tournament, were combined into one competition. We set the bar and made history. For the first time ever, it's a 2-in-1 tournament.
A large number of people from all over came and were thrilled to see both the boys and girls tournament all in one place. No one's ever experienced this before. Everyone really loves it.
I want to mention why Mason-Dixon is important to me. I graduated from the North Carolina School for the Deaf, and this is my home. I grew up playing basketball. When I attended Mason-Dixon as a player, it was a rich experience. I was able to travel to different states, develop good friendships, and learn the game of basketball. Years later, after graduating, I came back as a coach under Eric. I was assistant with him. As a coach, I was able to attend Mason-Dixon and really enjoyed that. The girls' tournament is where my heart is. And when I heard that the girls' tournament was likely to be canceled, I just knew that I couldn't let that happen. I pushed for it to happen, and here we are. And that's because the Mason-Dixon is important to me. The rich experience I got when I was a player, seeing the girls develop skills, increase their confidence, socializing, with all that the Mason-Dixon offers, just the whole thing. There's no beating that, really.
I grew up attending a mainstream school. In high school, I played basketball and baseball. I didn't know sign language growing up until I met my wife. I started signing some, but I really picked up the language when I began working at NCSD. I'd never heard of the Mason-Dixon until my wife mentioned it. I looked into it and thought it was interesting. I then became a coach for 3 years, from 2000 to 2003. I went to Mason-Dixon as a coach and really enjoyed it. I saw the girls really enjoying socializing, meeting old friends, and making new friends. After I stopped coaching, I continued helping with Mason-Dixon When NCSD would host the tournament, I always was more than willing to help out because I like seeing the players enjoy the tournament. That's why I wanted to host the tournament, because of the children. The children always come first.
Yes, absolutely.
Seeing the children having fun, it's good.
Yes. Wow, it's like we created the time. Well, let me back up. I never really went to the boys tournament or the cheerleading competition. This is the first time I've been to it. But here on out, I really hope we can make this a tradition to continue having both tournaments together. The girls can support the boys and the boys can support the girls. And as enrollment continues to drop at some schools, it impacts the cheerleading teams. So now both students can play basketball and cheer instead of having to choose between the two. I hope it's this way here on out. And like Eric just said, I also just really have enjoyed this. And this year, after the free throw and 3-point competition, we actually had time left. So we decided to ask the head coaches, assistant coaches, and athletic directors to come play. And the kids loved it.
Yes.
The coaches had their own free throw 3-point competition. And today they had their own cheerleading competition, and the kids really enjoyed it, and the staff had a blast too.
Yes. When I went to announce this, I said, now it's the coach's turn.
And the students were cheering, and the coaches were like, no, no, no.
I actually saw 2 players pull their coach to the court.
Yes.
Come on. The kids enjoyed seeing their coaches cheer.
Yes. And honestly, some of the coaches were good. I was impressed.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought some of the coaches wouldn't get into it, but I was wrong. They were doing flips.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah. So really, I think it's worth it. I think it was worth combining the tournaments, and I really hope we continue to do this here on out. And I've heard others say the same.
Hello, I'm Mark Patrick, and I'm the school director here at NCSD. It is my honor for us this year to host both the girls and boys and cheerleaders for this year's Mason-Dixon tournament. Our perspective here at NCSD is to make sure it is student-centered for all. And this is one of the things that we do to support our students, talking about citizenship, sportsmanship, and all of the important characteristics that go along with team sports. We are honored to have everyone here from many different states. I've talked with many people, students, coaches, athletic directors, and all of them have been thrilled with how we organize things and how organized things have been. We feel here at NCSD we have been given the first time opportunity for all the girls, boys, and cheerleaders to be together to celebrate. We are so thrilled with that. Second thing, for us as to why the Mason-Dixon tournament is so important for our community here, the deaf community. What's most important for us is everyone coming together and getting people together to chat, being happy, and socializing. It's truly helpful in lifting the spirits of our students. Well, really, all of the community as a whole. And our students have the opportunity to look up to our older generation. Hopefully, they look up to them because our community, the deaf community here, is so important to continue to support. As the school director, I hope that we have this opportunity for many years to come. And in the future, to host time and time again, if needed, to support our other schools that are involved as well. Thank you.
The Mason-Dixon is awesome. Collaborating with all the staff and students and players has been fun all the way.
I played in the Mason-Dixon tournament, and I'm happy we are combining the girls and boys tournament. It's history. I'm proud to see this happening, and I hope that here on out we are able to continue this and make new traditions.
Yes.
Also, Common Hospitality is the best.
Yes. This is important because we are keeping tradition alive.
Exactly.
In the past, there were 11 Dove schools and then down to about 9 or 10. It doesn't matter. The point is that we are still remaining connected, and we must partner together so that we don't lose the heart of it, which is deaf culture.
Hello, the Mason-Dixon tournament is the best. To have the girls' teams, boys' teams, and cheerleaders come together in one place at the same time truly is history in making. This is a big event. All the coaches, players, athletic directors, staff, and don't forget the fans coming together, partnering together, and enjoying each other's company. Such a good sportsmanship and school spirit. Let's keep this tradition. Even if the numbers decline, I don't want to see this tournament fall apart. We can keep it going. We can't give up. Let's go, everyone. Show some spirit. Hospitality's the best.
And I hope hospitality continues to be the best.
Yes. We are the best. Woo!
Always.